With that said, Ed, what inspired you to create High Science specifically about cannabis and why now?
Back in 2018, I had acoustic neuroma surgery. And if anybody knows what that is, that's a tumor in the brain that's connected to your basically everything. And after surgery, I spent 33 days in ICU and had some issues. And the medicine I was on, I did not like. I also believed when they did the surgery was, I don't know, 10, 12 hours, whatever it was. Uh, they said it was easier to remove. It was more cyst-like than the tumor. And I believe that when I found out I had this problem, I just smoked a lot of weed because I heard it was great for cancer and tumors and blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on. So I smoked a lot of weed, and I believe that's what made it easier to remove. The doctor doesn't think so, but that's medical versus a cannabis guy. And I had this idea for a show. And because I wanted other people to understand what cannabis was all about, and managed to, through a friend, meet the infamous David McKillop, who's now my partner, and I don't know what I would do without him. I think we make a great team. And he asked me, "Do you really think we could do this?" And I said, "I do, David." And he goes, "Who's going to own the IP?" And I said, "You and I. We're not going to sell it to a network. We're going to do everything ourselves." And he said, "Let's go." He comes from the television world, and we set out on a road to find the most incredible OG entrepreneurs in the cannabis industry, from medical genomics, being the top lead scientists in the country and around the world, to the little guy that produces seeds. We wanted to really showcase these incredible entrepreneurs and the incredible work that they're doing with this plant. And I gave all these puzzle pieces to David. And here we are getting ready to launch the show today, the 27th. 8 weeks. David took this and built one hell of a beautiful puzzle. This show is going to be great, not only informative, educational, entertaining. It's all right there.
Excellent. Yeah. And David, tell us a little bit about your background and what got you involved in the project.
Well, I've spent most of my life as a television programmer. I've headed up programming departments at National Geographic, Discovery Channel, History, A&E. I ran A&E as the general manager. So I've spent most of my life producing programs, everything from Deadliest Catch at Discovery to Storage Wars, Pawn Stars, and Duck Dynasty at History and A&E. So I've been doing this most of my life. When I'd met Ed, I kind of left the network. You can't program a net. There's a certain limit to what you can do in terms of your age and everything. So it's time to let the other people come in and program. But I had a great run and loved what I was doing. And I was looking for my next thing. So when Ed approached me, I was skeptical, to be quite honest with you. To me, it was like, oh fuck, am I allowed to say that? Is that I'm not going to just sit here and do some kind of stoner show. That's just not what I smoked. I smoked some weed when I was a kid. In fact, when I was growing up, we actually smoked weed. We didn't really drink. I never even drank until after college. But anyway, I started to meet some of the people Ed had rounded up in this group, and I started to do some research, and I suddenly realized, wow, the people's perception of the cannabis industry is still squarely in this idea of a recreational drug. Mm-hmm. And the government and big pharmaceutical companies all would love to have you think that. But what we soon discovered, where Ed had shown some light and I did some discoveries, is that quite the opposite. I mean, up prior to World War II, cannabis was the go-to treatment for up to 100 different ailments. It was also the main treatment for pain before aspirin. So we began to discover that the relationship of human evolution and cannabis evolution is tightly bound, and it's somehow gotten lost. I have my theories on why. A lot of it probably is people don't have patents on it and can try to make a lot of money off of it. But anyway, so I thought, you know what? I'll take this on. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of passion in someone like Ed, and we met some of the people and the characters in the show, and we worked hard, and we all chipped in. We weren't paid. This was kind of it became a passion for me, and because I know how many people can benefit from it. And the most important thing is that there have been lots of stories about people overdoing it or going into emergency rooms, and that's because there's no information. There's no trusted source of information. The government doesn't want to tell you anything. Pharmaceutical companies don't want to tell you anything. So people are basically finding out for themselves how many gummies it takes. Right. And that's a disaster. An uneducated population is not going to really be able to fully embrace what cannabis can do for the human body. And since no one else is going to do it, Ed and I decided that we're going to do it. And the first step in this was to create the High Science TV show, which is going to be an anthology series. So this first series is we're following a family of investors, but our second, third, we could be doing something totally different. But the goal here is to educate people at the same time and have a lot of fun. So that's how I kind of got involved in it.
Excellent.